Chapter 4, Daredevils. As soon as crowds of people started coming to see the falls, the daredevils showed up too. Daredevils are people willing to do something risky to become famous. And what better place to take a risk than at the most powerful waterfall in America? Sam Patch was the first daredevil to show off at Niagara Falls. Sam was known as the Jersey Jumper. He jumped from high places in New Jersey into rivers and lakes. In 1829, a poster appeared in Niagara. It said that Sam Patch would leap at the falls on Saturday, October 17th at exactly 3 o'clock. When the day came, he climbed onto a platform by the cliffs of Goat Island. The platform stuck out about 100 feet above the falls. With huge crowds watching from both shores, Patch took off his shoes and kissed a flag. Then he jumped. "He's dead!" people screamed. But a minute later, his head came up bobbing in the water. Somehow he had survived the crazy jump into Niagara Falls. Sam Patch wasn't as lucky on his next jump. When he tried to leap from another waterfall about 75 miles away, he hit the water and was killed. The next daredevil at Niagara was a French tightrope walker named Blondin. Blondin came to see Niagara Falls one summer. He took one look at the falls and set his heart on walking across the dangerously high space on a rope. The very next year, in 1859, he stretched a rope more than 1,000 feet long across the gorge and announced what he planned to do. Everyone thought Blondin was crazy for taking such a chance. The New York Times called Blondin a fool. They thought he should be arrested for even trying this stunt. 25,000 people came to see what would happen. Amazingly, Blondin didn't just walk across the rope, though. He danced across it. He leaped. He did somersaults. He balanced on a chair. He even walked across blindfolded. He also wore fantastic costumes for each performance. One day, he appeared as a gorilla. Once, he carried his manager across the rope on his back, piggyback style. He even carried a small stove on his back to the middle of the rope. There, Blondin stopped and cooked an egg on the stove. Then he lowered the dish to a tour boat waiting below so someone could eat it. Blondin made money from his stunts. He passed a hat around after each act to collect money. But the hotels nearby made even more money. They charged tourists to sit in special chairs to watch Blondin's terrifying act. A year after Blondin's first stunt, another daredevil showed up. His real name was William Leonard Hunt, but he used the stage name Farini. Farini wanted to do everything Blondin did, and more. He copied a lot of Blondin's daring acts, adding his own twist. Instead of cooking an egg on the tightrope, Farini brought a wash tub with him. Teetering on the tightrope, high above the Niagara River, he lowered the wash tub down to have it filled with water. Then he hauled it back up and washed ladies' handkerchiefs in it. All summer long, Farini and Blondin competed with each other. Farini tried to top Blondin by hanging upside down by his legs. He even let the tightrope go slack. Then he walked across it while it was swaying in the breeze. Blondin was more popular with the crowds. Farini, however, was a smarter businessman. He got everyone to pay him for his stunts, even the railroad and steamship owners. They paid him because he was bringing more tourists to Niagara Falls. One day in 1860, he made $15,000 for just 1 hour's work. The two daredevils were so famous that an English prince came to see them. They both offered to carry the prince across the gorge on the tightrope. The prince said no thanks. After that, all kinds of people tried to become famous by facing the falls. But who would guess that the next daredevil, the most famous one of all, would be a little old woman with gray hair?